Yeah, Gramagut. I know nothing about the new appointee, Judge McCabe, but I would like to say that I think the role of Judge McCabe should be challenged, not just by what happens in the future, but how he deals with the legacy of GSOC. Number one complaint to GSOC, I can't remember the year, 1990 or 1991, was Deputy Gino Kenny. He wasn't a deputy then. We had RTE footage of him being thrown off a bridge in Ballinaboy at a protest on Shell to Sea by 6 Gardaí, illegally and violently. And he was number one complaint. I queued up with him that morning and his complaint was thrown out, investigated by Gardaí themselves. And I think when you say, Minister, that the GSOC's independence is the guarantee to the public that the complaints against members of Garda Síochána will be investigated without fear or favour, there isn't a guarantee. And as has been pointed out by previous deputies, there's a high percentage of the public who do not see GSOC as independent and investigating without fear or favour. And you know, the specific case of Shane O'Farrell has been mentioned. I spoke to Lucia within the last hour and I told her that sadly somebody she wanted to meet, which was Terence Wheelock's father, passed away last week without ever knowing how his son died in custody in Store Street. And the Wheelock family have re-engaged in a campaign to have a public inquiry into that young man's death. We also have almost a year now since Georgian Kencho was killed by armed Gardaí in Blanchardstown, and we don't know where that is going to lead or how long it's going to take. So there's a litany of reasons why the public are not confident in GSOC, and whatever difference the judge who you've appointed makes going forward is most welcome. But there are legacy issues that have to be dealt with, and if we don't deal with them, we're just battening down on the mistrust and the lack of confidence that Joe Public has in Garda and all the apparatus around them. So he may bring considerable skills and experience, but the new judge has to ensure that whatever happened in the past has also got to be dealt with. And to that end, I think those 3 specific cases, the cases of Shane O'Farrell, Terence Wheelock and George Kencho, although it's still at the coroner's report stage, they must be speedily dealt with and not dragged out longer and longer, like Stardust was, like Bloody Sunday was, like all of those very deeply felt injustices are dragged out by the state apparatus. I just also want to mention the fact that no senior Gardaí are ever really held accountable for what happens in their watch. And we don't see that as being something that comes in front of us and says this happened and such a senior Garda is being suspended or taken off or, you know, up on charges for it. And we have to begin to see results. The fruits have to be, the proof has to be in the pudding and the results have to be seen. Otherwise, there'll be failure after failure and the public will never have confidence in this process.
Thank you, Deputy. Deputy Barry.